Mr. Steve G, sir. One of the first places I wanted to go today was something that you and I both kind of started thinking about at the same time earlier this week, and which is keywords. Like I'm guessing, a lot of these groups and places people are in. I mean, that they're affiliate guys or whatever, and so they're using keyword tools and getting 1,000 fucking keywords and all this bullshit and running through these other bullshit tools and somehow think that they're going to actually target thousands of fucking keywords. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. So I'll give my bit, and then Steve, please run with it, because I know you and I were, you started talking about it, and I've been thinking about this for like a year. Steve, I literally thought I was an idiot, because most of the clients I have, there's about between 10 and 50 keywords that actually matter. That could be including stemmings or modifiers and shit like that. But beyond that, because every keyword has a price, because you got to create content for that keyword. You got to go out and build links or whatever. Every keyword's got an associated price. So anyone who's sitting around, what's your favorite keyword? I'm like, keyword tool. What? You get something that gives you 1,000 fucking results. How are you going to do that? You're not. So yeah, I was wondering that. Then you had brought it up somewhere. I think it was in one of those other groups. And then I mentioned it in the dojo. And it turns out everyone's pretty much like us, Steve, that they're not actually. So I don't get it. Anyway, so I'll let you go from where you were starting to think about this week. And see what everyone else thinks.
Well, I mean, going back to where they're getting this idea is, I mean, a lot of these people are still on places like the Warrior Forum. Still exist, and they're everywhere. It's not just them. So they're getting a lot of bad information from people who learn that information from the other people who were there, and they wind up in these big echo chambers. And so they're all doing it. They're all doing the exact same thing. And since they're all seeing some form of success, they all think that's what works. And this has been one of the ongoing hardest things to train out of people, because when you search on Google, you use keywords. And until you have a client that starts doing AdWords, they don't get it. Like I have a client who we've worked, when I took over their AdWords account, they were bidding on 28,000 keywords. And I showed him for the last year before that I took over that out of those 28,000 keywords, 28 of them actually gave him customers. And that's when the light switch went on. Yes, you can rank for all those keywords. And yes, there's that long tail hockey stick thing sticking way the heck off on the right end of the thing where you might get a sale. But at what cost overall? How much effort did you put into finding that keyword, determining that keyword, setting it all up, writing content for it to maybe possibly get a sale 4 years from now, when you could have put all that effort into the 1%, 2% core theme, which is why I prefer to think about keywords as not words, but as themes and topics, that if you put your effort into that, the rest sorts it out just fine automatically these days. And it doesn't even require you to think about LSI.
Well, and I don't know if you touched on it because I just ran to get a drink because that's how I roll. But if you got an informational site, fine. Like Eric Wu could come in here. He used to be the head SEO for eHow. And in his situation, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because you've got thousands of different iterations of how to, why would I, this and that, questions that could be asked. So that's totally different. But the average commercial situation, I don't run into it. I just don't. Like, and half the time the client already knows coming in the door what those terms are, and so you're just kind of looking at stemmings and modifiers and things of that nature. It's going to be, an informational or a transactional modifier, things of that nature. But yeah, I don't run into it, dude. And it's like those aren't what make money. Like you can grab all those long tail stuff, but are you as an SEO going to pay your weight with all that stuff? No, because you're not going to make enough money for your client for them to keep you around. It's those head terms. Okay, Kevin, let me throw it at you, because Kevin, you've got a pretty large, automotive industry thing. Do you have the head terms that make the money? Do you really worry about those hundreds of long tail things that may or may not, work for you? Because I know you're in a bit of a larger situation. Like Terry and I used to work with Auto Traders, so I know that but even then, even with Auto Trader, there was always those head terms and the ones that were important to move stock and to move stuff that we really focused on.
Yeah, we focus on the head terms because a lot of it's automotive, but it's the dealer level, so it's local down to the brick and mortar. So the head terms are important, but we also go after the long tail for people from a local standpoint. What are they searching for? That might mean more relevancy.
But
like,
do you
we don't handle it the same way.
Do you do actual keyword research at any point to say, you know, that this tool told me that this thing's popular, I should go there? Or do you use your analytics? Do you use past experience? Do you talk to dealers? Like, are you using
we use all of that. We still do keyword research depending on if it's a new manufacturer or a new location, but we do the keyword research based on past. We do both. You start new keyword research just to make sure you're not missing any gaps, but you do leverage the fact that a Toyota dealer in North Carolina and a Toyota dealer in
you've got historical
Washington,
data that's going to give you a sense of what direction to go in.
Exactly, but we try to keep on them to do the keyword research so that they're fresh with it, with the idea of understanding that things evolve, and sometimes people are searching for more stuff.
Well, I'd like to jump in here for a second. I mean, I do keyword research every time I build a site. I basically do it for a couple of reasons. People in an industry call a widget, but when you go out there and you find what people are searching for, they aren't searching for widgets. They're searching for doodads. And until you do a keyword research, you don't know that the general public is calling it a doodad. And especially when I'm working into a new industry, and I don't know the industry at all, so I don't know what their terms.
But if you look at the competitors in that space, like if your client gives you a few head terms, you can now go look at all those query spaces, like Terry likes to say, SERP out, and you can look at those query spaces. And I swear to God, within 20 minutes, you know, if they're dumb enough to put keyword meta tags and stuff like that, within an hour, I can go around a bunch of competitors and figure out what the terms that make money in this space are. And like Steve was saying earlier, then you can run some AdWords on a few of those and start to get a sense with some broad match or whatever, what's actually going to make you money. Like, you know what I mean? Again, I don't remember the last time I plugged keywords into a tool per se, you know, but everyone's got
sure.
their own
I mean, whether you go and find it from competitors or if you just use you know, Google suggest or whatever, it doesn't matter. And you're right, 50 keywords, boy, that's a lot.
Yeah.
If you want after 50 keywords, you mean you're going to get 2,000 out of a tool, and just look at them, and you cut them down to. I probably cut them down to 20. But the other thing, and I forget, I think it was Steve that was saying, you go to AdWords and you put your AdWords through analytics and you set up goals, and yeah, you just look at these 200 keywords that you're bidding on that just cost you $3,000 in the last quarter, netted you absolutely zero people looking at your contact page. Nobody contacted you. Nobody even cared to contact you.
So that's why I always like PPC working with SEO, because you can find out which ones actually are going to make you money. And
so you cut out the keywords and you say, now you can up your bids on the words that make you money.
Well, I would ask Bill about what he thinks about keyword research, but we all know he loves his LSI tools, and so.
I did.
I know you're late to the party, man, but we already know what you're gonna say. So
I did have a client who was spending $100,000 a month a few years ago, who dropped PPC completely and switched over to SEO, and immediately started breaking records in terms of return on investment in traffic from SEO.
That's it.
Well,
I see this so often. I see these, what's your favorite keyword tool in these reports, and I get 10,000 from this, and how many you're tracking 1,000, I have 100, I have this. And it's so bizarre. I've been doing this 20 years, and I could probably, you know, again, if it's not an informational site, like a kind of a more broader base where you're doing constant content generation, I don't really find myself that often getting into situations where I need hundreds of keywords. It just doesn't happen.
Well, I think Steve's point, though, is valid from a standpoint of if you're moving to a different client and you don't know the industry, maybe you don't spend hours doing keyword research, but a tool might give you an understanding.
So
like case in point.
Can we define keyword research then? I don't use a tool. Again,
And I'm okay with that.
I'm going to look at, competitor websites. I'm going to look at analytics. I'm going to look at history. If it's a brand new website, they just woke up in the morning and decided to bring that website in and they don't even know anything, well, they wouldn't be my client anyway. So
right. It's just, I think when he said widgets and doodads, the thing that popped up was like, if you're not in automotive and you're new to automotive and you come in and you have, let's say you have a client who goes, why don't I show up? This manufacturer makes me say pre-owned. Mercedes is case in point. Mercedes, you can't use the term used cars on a Mercedes website. It's against their brand. They won't let you do it. But everything's called pre-owned. Well, no Mercedes dealers who have used cars
but okay, Kev.
show up. But you wouldn't know that.
I will give you an
I
will give you an exact example of what you're saying, though. I worked with Auto Trader, Volkswagen, shit like that, and I was dealing with used cars, new cars, stuff like that. Okay. And then I got a project with auto parts guy, the guys who, part piece stuff out. So I don't know nothing about I'm not a gearhead, right? So I don't know nothing about all these pieces and parts. But still, within the meetings I'm having with them, they're telling me what have the highest profit margins. What's the end of line stock? What is the stuff they got to get out of the warehouse? These become my keywords. Do you know what I mean?
Right. No. And
I'm
that's
not going, how am I going to go
think
to this client who knows their website, knows their product, and stuff it into a tool and come back to them and say, oh, here's what we should be doing? No, they already know what they want to move. They know what the product they want to move.
By the same token, what if they don't know and they turn around and go, well, we think
then
people
you should
are
find a
searching
better client, because if he doesn't know his own business, no, I'm kidding.
Right, sorry. But you have the luxury of the consultant aspect of being able to choose your clients. If this is somebody who is, let's say you work at an agency or you work within a bunch of other consultants and you get your client when you get your client, at a certain point in time, especially I think we've all dealt with, the client thinks they rank for this and they want to care about this. And then you can show them that more people are searching for that. And that's where it helps. And I'm not advocating
see, to a degree, though, I still think about that at more of a content side of things, whereas my client still knows what he wants to sell and what he wants to move. Now, if that's not working necessarily right away, I have to take a secondary angle, like some evergreen content or things like that, to get some links and boost to rise the boat up, maybe. But I generally don't. I think my clients tend to know what they want to sell and what they need to move. And
right. No, it's not what they want to sell, but how are their people getting to them? So like if they don't understand that maybe people aren't looking for their name or aren't looking for this or vernacular, let's take automotive out of it. And like you're talking with lawyers, what if nobody's searching for the law, the actual law?
Don't get Bill started.
No, but what I mean, the vernacular, like trying to understand. I'm not saying, I think if you didn't do keyword research, back up. I'm backing myself up. I do keyword research, or I have my team do keyword research if they don't understand things and they're looking for more information, because in those situations, they're not going to call the client because it's a different relationship. And that's just like, you can reach out to your client. You've had the meetings and you understand what's going on. Now take this to the next person down the line. If somebody had to pick up and do with what you're doing, and I didn't want to reach out to the client and make it look like I didn't know what was going on, then I might do a little bit of keyword research. Not saying use a tool, but doing it to have a better understanding.
I'm gonna let you go in a second because I gotta go.
Sorry.
Room. But Kevin, I think we just found your next presentation. Anyways, go ahead.
I'm gonna jump in.